Play. What's up, guys? Welcome to my WWE. I was gonna say 2K14 there, but WWE Battleground reaction. As you may notice in the background, we got some WWE 2K14 gameplay for you guys to watch, so you don't get bored of listening to me talk. But really, guys, without further ado, hopefully you enjoy my first reaction video. If you got any improvements you could suggest, or anything like that, then please feel free to let me know, and yeah, I'll try and improve it for my next reaction, which should be Raw tomorrow. So basically, guys, starting off with the Battleground card, well, not the card itself, the pre-show, briefly touching on Adam Rose and Fandango. I looked and that match lasted for like 1 minute 30 seconds. Basically, the problem with Fandango, I don't know, he just seems to be out of nowhere since kind of getting buried by Triple H during a promo on Raw a few weeks ago. Adam Rose is another one. There's conflicting reports about him, whether he's like, ranked highly backstage or not, or something like that. Whether he's not impressing the right people, and then in other times it's saying he is impressing the right people and stuff like that. So I don't really know about them one guys. Adam Rose and Fandango, both superstars who I don't want to say need a reboot. That may seem a bit too harsh, but definitely need to regain some kind of momentum in their stride, if you know what I mean, to become, well, to at least go up the card a bit. Second match on the pre-show was was Naomi versus Cameron. Obviously the two are feuding since they split, being the Funkadactyls. So basically, guys, essentially they had Cameron win, and that would come as a lot of that would come as a shock to a lot of you. Cameron definitely, undisputedly the weaker of the two. I pray to God that they don't go the kind of, I want to say, Eva Marie route with Cameron, and they just shove her down like our throats. I really hope they don't do that. Obviously, you can tell from a mile off that Naomi is the much more athletic, and I'd even say from what I've seen, she's got more believable mic skills, like in the sense of this may sound somewhat racist, but she comes across as a typical hard black woman that you wouldn't want to fuck with. So, whereas Cameron's just like that bitchy teenager that I'm sure we all had to deal with in school and wanted to kick the fuck out of, to be perfectly frank. So hopefully they ain't going anywhere with Cameron. Hopefully they ain't getting to put her on our screen, give her a lot of screen time. That would be the worst thing they could do. The Divas division has so many more deserving talents. Summer Rae for one, Layla as well. Both good wrestlers. If you've not seen Summer in NXT, check it out. You probably will like her matches. Layla, let's not forget, a Divas champion and Women's champion at one point. So definitely a lot more people that are more deserving. Emma as well, who I haven't seen in a while since that whole shoplifting fiasco and shit like that. So really, just a lot more people that deserve it more than Cameron. Moving on to the third match of the night and the first official match. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defeated the Wyatts, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, in a 2 out of 3 Falls Count Anywhere match. This match was a good match, guys, going for almost 20 minutes. I didn't know it was a 2 out of 3 falls until they actually said it on the pay-per-view. And, at the start I tweeted out that I thought it was kind of a weak match, but the 2 out of 3 falls really did help. They seemed to get more and more chemistry with each other when the match was going on. And really seemed to, get the pace going right. Jimmy and Jay, for me, they did well. They did well in terms of wrestling and telling the story. The finish was good. The double Uso splash off the top rope was really good. Even Eric Rowan going to the top rope once or twice. Loads of false finishes, guys. Loads of near falls. There was once or twice where I thought it was going to be over after Luke Harper caught one of the Usos with his discus clothesline after I believe it was Jimmy Uso did that super kick. I thought it was over, but it wasn't. The double super kicks leading into the Uso splash was quite good, but talking about the Wyatt family in general, like Luke Harper and Eric Rowan at least, Luke Harper is the one that impresses me the most. He's a big man. He constantly puts on good matches. He can move really fast for a big man. His moveset is really, really, really good. It's very diverse, if that's what you want to call it. Eric Rowan is good, and he's learning, basically. Like, he'll get better in time, hopefully. And, you know, their character development, they got their own theme song now. They're split away from Bray, so, you know, well, they're not splitting away from Bray yet, but, you know, it's always there. It's an option if they need to. I don't believe they should, but you could definitely tell Luke Harper is the standout of the Wyatt family. As far as the Usos go, it's good not to put the tag titles on heels because there is a lack of, you know, face teams. You know, you got Rybacksaw there. Well, really, Rybacksaw, you got Goldust and Stardust, but they're new. They're only really just finding their feet, you know, and things like that. So, to keep the titles on the Usos, I suppose is a good decision in the short term, but I would definitely prefer to see the Wyatts have it at one point or another. The Usos haven't really done a lot with it in terms of character development, so hopefully, like, we'll see something change, or, you know, we may even see 1 or 2 new tag teams come forward in the next 2 or 3 months. So hopefully, like, we'll see where that goes. The second match of the night were AJ Lee versus Paige. For me, I was looking forward to this. I think I can really speak for a lot of people when I say that a lot of people were looking forward to this. This was, well, basically the match bailed as the Divas feud, basically. AJ Lee, arguably the best diva over the last, well, 2 to 3 years, versus, well, from what I've seen, the best young prospect of a diva in a long, long time in Paige. Now, as many of you that follow me on Twitter may know, I'm definitely biased when it comes to Paige, but I actually didn't mind her losing this. I see they're trying to drag out a potential Paige heel turn with all, you know, the frenemy talk and all this nonsense. But for me, the ending of the match was weak. The ending was just weak, guys. I mean, the match itself wasn't great. Like, it was good, don't get me wrong. It was okay, but it wasn't great. As much as it pains me to say it, Paige, there was one spot in the match where Paige really did look to, I'm not sure if it was Paige, but it looked to go wrong. Like the, I almost want to say sunset flip powerbomb from the top rope. It looked like Paige failed to catch AJ properly or something like that. But apart from that, a very solid match. A bit of a weak finish with the Shining Wizard. I mean, I don't know how else it could have ended. Like, because obviously Paige has already got out the Black Widow. You don't want Paige to tap out, as you want her to be a strong challenger for AJ Lee in the coming months. But, I don't know, I just felt the finish was a bit weak. As far as storyline goes, I'm kind of glad in a way that they took the title off Paige when they did. I mean, from my perspective, like, she was booked as a terrible champion, an underdog champion, where kind of like a John Cena effect, Super Cena effect for all you IWC guys out there, basically, for all you internet wrestling community guys out there, basically, just, you know, the Super Cena effect, as in, like, she'd get beat up for most of the match, and then she'd come back and win. And that's not what Paige is, guys. Like, as I said before, I'm a big Paige fan. I've seen all of her matches in NXT. Basically, almost all of her matches in NXT. I used to watch it every week, specifically for Paige. Being a Brit myself, I'm a huge fan. Being 21 as well, she's kind of an inspiration to me in that sense. And what we're seeing at the moment isn't what I like to call the real Paige. Hopefully a heel turn. Like, will just lead her snapping on AJ and just totally going mental and, you know, getting all aggressive like she was in NXT. But she was a face in NXT as well, so You know, in that sense, I don't get it. Hopefully, they'll trade back and forward the Divas title over the next coming months. I definitely believe Paige deserves another chance at being Divas champion when she's a heel. That would definitely be a bit better, guys. I believe that would be more of a success than it was in her initial face run. I mean, they kind of rushed it. I always believed she was going to debut the night after WrestleMania, but in what fashion, I'm not sure. It's just because AJ Lee had requested time off TV. I think that's why she won the Divas title initially, and they weren't ready to book her. But you got to hand it to her. She tried her best. She did her best with what she was given, and really, I think has done quite well. She just needs a bit of a I don't know, a bit of a push, a bit of a kick up the arse, so to speak. Bit of a change of direction. But anyway, guys, moving on to the fifth match of the night overall. Rusev with Lana defeated Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter. Now, this was a solid match, guys. Don't get it twisted. I really did enjoy the match, but multiple things I have a problem with here. Now, I'm just going to start off by saying I'm sorry if I ramble on during this match, or during this analysis of this match, I should say. But for starters, I don't care which WWE creative member told Lana to, or told CJ Perry to, as she's really called. I don't care who scripted it. I don't care if WWE put out a statement saying it wasn't part of, it wasn't meant to be related to this, but mentioning or indirectly mentioning the air tragedy that happened a few days ago with Russia and things like that, and that plane being shot down. Mentioning that was just no. I'm sorry. Like, it's a no-go area. It's an absolute no-go area. It pisses me off, to be honest with you. I don't care if you're getting heat or anything like that. In my opinion, it's slightly worse than Muhammad Hassan. All Muhammad Hassan never even did anything wrong. All he did was try and portray a character on WWE TV back in 2005. He never even once said he was a terrorist or anything like that, but due to the whole 7/7 bombings, he was taken off TV. And only now that I'm a bit older now than I was in 2005, I believe I was like 13 in 2005, so I couldn't really appreciate it at the time. But only in recent years have I really been truly pissed off that Muhammad Hassan didn't get the chance to be the star in WWE that he could. He was going to win the world title from Batista, and we would have had a great heel champion. Muhammad Hassan was a heat magnet. He was probably the best before Vicky Guerrero, basically. Like, he was a heat magnet, so... but this is different. Lana, Rusev, creative members, whatever, they've overstepped the mark with mentioning that. The match itself was solid, even though the finish was good because it didn't diminish Swagger that much. He lost by count out, I suppose, which isn't bad. But why have him lose like that, only to have Rusev come and just apply the accolade, his finishing maneuver, and just totally dominate Swagger post-match? Like, I was angry initially that Swagger lost the match in terms of I thought it would do damage to his face push, but it just annoyed me the way that they totally, diminished him afterwards. He looked so strong in recent weeks. He needed to win. In my opinion, there's no point in having Swagger not go over Rusev, because all he has is a foreign gimmick that's going to fail, basically. I pray to God that over the weekend WWE had contact with Kurt Angle, and Kurt has quietly said on the quiet that he's going to return in September. And that's why they had Rusev continue to look strong. Because I will tell you, when Kurt Angle comes back, I hope his music hits, and I hope he fucking snaps Rusev's ankle. I am not joking. Hearing Kurt Angle's music hit, play the American hero, you suck, whatever. Kurt, we want him back in WWE anyway, but how much sweeter would it be to see him snap Rusev's ankle. And as far as Lana can go, she always says, shut up! Well, why doesn't she shut up for once? And I hope by last night she had learned to shut up, because the direction they went in last night was really bad. Anyway, moving on to Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. This wasn't a match, but I wish I had more video, because I would make a video on this all by myself, like all just for that match by itself, because this was excellently done. People were initially pissed off that we didn't get the initial Ambrose Rollins match. You know, but we got something so much better. Old school, attitude era, hardcore beef. Ambrose took it to Rollins 3 or 4 times throughout that night. He dominated. He dominated Rollins, and that was so impressive to see from both parties. Very, very refreshing change of creative direction. Did a good job of holding it off for SummerSlam, making sure that we don't waste that match on a throwaway pay-per-view like Battleground. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, guys. And the thing about that is now, Dean Ambrose, if you didn't believe Dean Ambrose was a legitimate threat to Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank chances and his cash-in, then believe it now, because Dean showed last night that he is anywhere and everywhere where Seth is. He almost whacked the guy with a fucking crowbar, for fuck's sake. He hid in the trunk of his car, for fuck's sake. Dean Ambrose is the best guy at playing a kind of off-the-wall psycho character that I've seen since Psycho Sid, or indeed the late great Brian Pillman. Dean Ambrose, I can't say enough. I'm sorry, I like Seth Rollins, but if they were going to pick a guy to be Mr. Money in the Bank, you know, and pin the future on, everyone's talking about Roman Reigns, but Dean Ambrose, he's sneaking up there quietly, although he's not so quiet anymore. Dean Ambrose is going to shock everyone and do some major shit over this next 6 months. By the end of 2014, Dean Ambrose will be a star, if he's not already. And you know what? He's my early pick to win the Royal Rumble 2015. There you go, guys. I said it. I have Roman Reigns in there as well, but Dean Ambrose. Seth, I like Seth. I fear he'll be an afterthought. That's all I've got really to say about that. Chris Jericho versus Bray Wyatt. Now, this is a match that split opinions. I personally, and hear me out, guys, before you turn off the video or go mental at me or anything like that. I personally believe that Jericho needed one return where he doesn't job, you know, or put people over. Don't get me wrong. Is it good to put people over? To put youngsters over? To put new and upcoming superstars like Wyatt over? Of course it is, guys. I'm not disputing that for 1 minute. But every return that Jericho has had over the last 2 to 3 years has been return, lose, return, lose, return, lose, with the odd win stacked in between. Like on shows like SmackDown, for fuck's sake. Chris Jericho is the first undisputed champion, multi-time world and intercontinental champion. Jericho deserved to come out on top in a feud once, but on the flip side of that, guys, if it was anyone but Jericho, I would have booked Wyatt to win all day long. I mean, I might have even booked Wyatt to win anyway, but I'm glad he didn't, in a sense, because I'm so sick of seeing Chris Jericho made a joke of. Chris Jericho's a legend at the end of the day, and he deserves better than just coming back to job. But on the flip side of that, Bray, I don't know, man. The real damage was done when he lost to Cena. Okay, lose to him at WrestleMania, maybe. Maybe you can allow that. But then at Extreme Rules as well? Come on, man. Diminishing Wyatt's character. I really don't know what Bray's going to do at this point. I mean, the situation is as follows. You got Seth. I'm not saying Bray Wyatt should be in the main title picture, by the way. I'm just, you know, I'm just kind of like laying out the picture, and maybe you guys can help me find a place for Wyatt. But you have Seth, you have Dean, Roman, Kane, Randy Orton, John Cena, although not for the next 2 weeks because he's filming a movie. He won't be on Raw tonight, for those of you that are wondering. Brock Lesnar's going to come back, obviously. We all know Lesnar's coming back tonight. Come on, let's not beat around the bush. You know, even just, you know, people like Cesaro, great wrestlers like Cesaro and Damian Sandow, you know, Dolph Ziggler, you know, even Bo Dallas, you know, kind of getting a bit pushed back. And really, I hope Wyatt refines his footing. He needs to do something really impressive. Maybe he needs to kidnap, I don't know, Layla or something, and we'll see what happens there. But, you know, Brain definitely needs to do something with his character at the moment. Definitely need to, you know, hit the reboot button. Briefly on the Battle Royal. 90-man Battle Royal. Rob Van Dam didn't compete because he's injured. That came out today. What the fuck are they doing with The Miz? What the fuck are they doing with The Miz? I'm sorry. The Miz is gone. I'm all for this, like, you know, relift or reboot of his character, but it's too much like The Rock 2003. For fuck's sake, I'm sick of seeing Sandel. Let's talk about the participants. Xavier Woods, Zack Ryder, Great Khali, Sin Cara, R-Truth, Curtis Axel, Diego, Ryback, Titus O'Neil, Del Rio, Big E, Kingston, all fucking obsolete, right? So let's talk about Damien Sandow briefly. Shit. Damien needs to do better. He deserves better. Damien, fucking WWE creative. I tweeted about this last night. Get your fucking act together. Let him go back to his intellectual saviour of the masses gimmick. He was fucking Mr. Money in the Bank, and then he got fucked up. How is that even possible? I don't know. Sort it out. Cesaro, I don't even know if he's with Paul Heyman anymore. I thought he was getting slightly damaged when he was with Paul Heyman in a sense. They should just pull the trigger on his face turn. If they need more heels, turn Big E heel. You know, maybe even turn Bo Dallas heel if he isn't already. Even Sheamus perhaps. Heath Slater. Impressed. Happy to see that he's not a fucking ragdoll anymore. Well done for eliminating... who did he eliminate again? Who did he eliminate again? He eliminated Cesaro, innit? He eliminated Cesaro. Right, sorry, I was just talking to my friend there, right? He eliminated Cesaro. And that was fucking sick. That was good for Heath Slater. Please do not let Heath get fucking F5'd by Brock Lesnar or fucking, I don't know, get his arm broken by Del Rio or something today. Sheamus, irrelevant, fuck him, turn him heel. Done. Oversaid enough times. Dolph, the victory when he finally does get a title or something will be so sweet. Fuck The Miz. Dolph deserves more. Bo Dallas is the last one I'm going to come to. We all need to just Bo leave a bit longer. But I'm interested to see what they do when he finally does lose his streak. Is he face at the moment? Is he heel? He reminds me a bit of early 2000 Kurt Angle. I don't know if he's face or I don't know if he's heel. It's a bit nuts, to be honest with you. But let's see what they do with Bo. All I'm saying about Bo at the moment is that I like what I'm seeing. It's really funny. It's really refreshing. And it's quite, well, yeah, it's just funny and refreshing. The Fatal 4-Way WWE title match. This gameplay lasts for 3 minutes, so I'll just do my best to sum it up in that time. Roman Reigns, fan-fucking-tastic. Roman Reigns, multiple spears. Okay, I admit, no one believed Roman would walk away from the title. It doesn't make sense storyline-wise if, you know, you kind of got the perceived inside scoop, you know, you read the dirt sheets and all that. It didn't make sense. But for a brief moment, I thought he was going to do it. I'm sick of seeing Kane always be the beatdown. Always be the ragdoll in these kind of matches. How many times did Kane get false pinned last night before finally actually getting pinned? Fuck that. Kane deserves one more chance at the title. I don't know when that'll be, but he deserves it. But Roman Reigns is the future. Randy Orton, please, let him do something else. Get him out of the title picture, man. In my opinion, anyway. It's just terrible. Super Cena. The WWE champion. Now, I don't understand all the hate Cena gets. In my opinion, he's just doing a job. If other people would step up, he'd be alright. And he wouldn't get as much hate. He's definitely not as bad as he was in 2007. He has put a lot of people over since that kind of, you know, time. That kind of era, if you know what I mean. Disappointed that we didn't see Brock. Really disappointed we didn't see Brock. Even if you have him attack Cena in his post-match interview and write Cena off TV for 2 weeks while he's filming this movie, that instantly gives Brock a legitimate threat. If he isn't already, I know he is, but you know, make it a bit more. You know, make it real. Make it this guy can show up anywhere, anytime, and kick your fucking head in, kind of real. Yeah, guys. So that's practically it for the matches. Overall, I'd give the pay-per-view. It was a solid pay-per-view. Average 4 or 5. The endings of certain matches just seemed too bad to me. No Lesnar. No real progression. The best way I'd describe it is irrelevant. Like, we could have gone without it. It really didn't make any progress. Apart from Dean and Seth. That made brilliant progress. That held off their feud a bit. And stuff like that, guys. But yeah, that's really it for my Battleground reaction. As I said, this is my first time doing it. So, I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope it hasn't been too long for you. I hope the commentary hasn't been too bad or too stuttery. Any improvements you think I can make, guys, then feel free to let me know and things like that. Enjoy the last 18 or so seconds of this gameplay, although all you're going to see is my rank and stuff. This has been Take a Luke, and I'm out. Peace.